we live in this mud. And now we shall sing from the gospel. What's going on out there in the YouTube world? Peace to the gods and the goddesses, man. Yo, I gotta get some new socks, man. Hell, that's something I've been putting off for a minute, man. Yo, man, peace to the gods and the goddesses, man. I already know what it is, man. About to do a quick little video, man. I'm out here, man. So out here about to be testing this. I've been doing a whole bunch of behind the scene test work, man, with this camera. This camera's the truth, man. Doing this little research on the logs I could be using, the logs I can't use, the pros and the cons, basically. Man, bruh, I've been going in on this joint, son. I mean, this camera's, I can't really maximize it because the memory card is not available. Like, I don't even understand that. But then again, it's a human, so it's very understandable, son. They release a camera, the memory card is not available. Like, come on, man. Like, part of the game is that. You know what I mean? See what's going on in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What up? What up? I already know what it is, man. But yo, man, word going around the Matrix right now, man. Is this interview, man, that happened with Brother Rich and Dame Dash. Now, I ain't check out the whole interview, man, because you know the clips be coming through the feed. You know what I mean? Clips come through the feed. So, and the title that the dude had in the description was basically clickbait. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was looking at, I'm like, what's going on with the brother Dame, son? You know, Dame is like Dame. Dame ain't Dame no more, son. You know, the Dame from back in the days, man, that ain't the Dame now. The Dame now is the Dame who's like, you know, he cracked out of that cocoon. You know what I mean? He understands what's going on and he's doing what he got to do. But I was checking out the couple of joints of the interview and all that. Of course, gotta have somebody blasting their music, man. I'm trying to stay away from that. But, you know, the interview started out, you know, they just talking about whatever it is that they was talking about, son. And, you know, he was, you know how Dame do. You know, he outspoken and all that. So he on it, like, you know, God, Brother Rich asking a question, like, you know what I mean? You look like you was having fun when you was doing what it was, what you was doing.
Give me a back.
So, Dame, he like, yo, man, like, what's fun, son? Like, pouring drinks over chicks' heads, disrespecting the women and all that. You know what I'm saying? And the brother Rich was like, nah, man, but you look like you was having fun. The dude was like, yo, like, how was that fun, man? I'm sitting up here going to court with this person, going to court with that person. Like, there's no fun in that. So, you know, it was like, see, I know what it was, son. You know what I mean? So it's like they knew what it was too, cause it was basically, yo, Rich set itself up for an L, son. You know what I mean? But if you can't take the L, which is a lesson, cause that's all the L's, at least I take. If you can't take an L in front of the people, son, then you frauding, son. You know what I mean? You frauding if you can't take an L in front of the people because, you know, in this realm, son, there's always tests. There's always everywhere, son. And it's like certain things get set up for you so you could pass the test. But because of the ego, you know, people buckle. So he asked the dude, like, yo, give me a specific, man. Like, you talking to a man, you got to deal with specifics. You ain't dealing with that symbolism over here, son. You know what I mean? They be rocking the people asleep with. You know what I'm saying? Like, deal with the specifics, man. Like, tell me a scene, give me an action that you basically determined that it was me having fun. You know what I mean? Not rich. You know what I'm saying? He ain't on screen. He ain't about to be like, well, you know, when you were sitting up there pouring the drinks on a chick's head, you disrespecting a woman. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna. But that's exactly what he was actually referring to. But he ain't gonna say that on camera, son. You know what I mean? Which he should have. He should have said that on camera. You know what I mean? Because you be being real. Because you got to understand, you know, like I stated, video first started, the dame then ain't the dame now. Even the rich then ain't the rich now. You know what I mean? It should have been like, yo, when you were sitting up there, you know, partying with all these chicks and all that, pouring drinks, smoking your cigars, y'all blowing y'all trees, that looked like fun. You know what I'm saying? And he could have said that and been on some tip like, you know what, man? Back in the days, you know, when we wasn't on that so-called conscious vibe, that's what fun was considered. Back in the days, that's what was considered fun. Disrespecting the women and ego flexing in front of brothers' faces. That's what was considered fun back in the days. Huh? That's when you in the state of mind. You know what I mean? You know, people use the terms right state of mind, and I used to use them terms. See, I take a lot of L's in front of the people. You know what I mean? I ain't got no problem taking lessons in front of the people. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. It's growth, man. But, you know, people use the term right state of mind. The hell with the right state of mind. The right state of mind is just a polarity that exists within the mind. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out the polarities because the mind holds the polarities. You gotta go beyond the mind. As I stated before, man, the mind is all about mind control, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight mind controlling people right now, son, with the mind. But you know, he should have took the L. You know what I mean? Because he jumped the gun. Dame Dash came ahead and he was like, well, you know, pouring the drinks on the chicks and all that, that ain't fun. That's disrespecting. So it's sort of like a checkmate. It's sort of like a checkmate he did with Rich. Like Rich couldn't even come back from that. So that's why he wasn't, you know, then he started saying like, well, you know, I ain't gonna answer the question how you want me to answer it. It ain't about him. It ain't about you answering the question how he wants you to answer it. He just wants you to answer the question. And he didn't want to answer the question because he didn't want to take that L. He didn't want to take the lesson of basically saying that pouring drinks on chicks' heads. You was up in the videos or the clubs. You know what I'm saying? You got mad chicks around you throwing money all up in the air. You know, basically being a coon. Basically being a coon, son. You know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second. Bad noise over here. He ain't want to take that. He ain't want to hold that lesson, man. Which he should have, son. And you know, they in the title, at least from where I was watching it at, it said, you know, basically Dame Dash got emotional and left the interview. The clip that I saw, that ain't what happened. The clip that I saw, Rich said, we're going to end the interview. You know what I mean? Rich said, we're going to end the interview. Like, Dame Dash ain't come out and say, I'm going to end this interview and, you know, it's a wrap, or got up and just left while the brother was talking. He was there trying to get the brother to answer the question. He didn't want to answer the question. He said, if you ain't going to answer the question, you can move on to the next question. And, you know, the brother Rich was like, yo, we could end the interview right now. So the title, but then again, the title, you know, the clickbaiting, trying to make, I could understand exactly where Dame is coming from, son. That's why I'm like, yo, you got to deal with reality, man. You got to deal with the reality. You got to be literal. In these days, man, you ain't got no time for the subliminals, man. You know what I mean? You got to be real. If you're talking about a certain situation, be specific. Give details so that we could be on the same page. You know what I mean? Don't dance around asking the questions, son. You know what I mean? Don't dance around asking the questions. But you're on the same page, bro. Straight up. But yeah, man, y'all already know what it is, man. Just another day in the Matrix, man. Another day in the Matrix. I'm out here, man, about to test out this camera some more. I've been getting some crazy footage, man. It's a whole bunch of test footage, man, I've been checking out. Let's see where I'm going at, man. What the hell I'm at? Getting a whole bunch of test footage, man. I already see the picture profiles I'm gonna be working with. Picture profiles I ain't working with. Y'all already know them things is coming, man. Them things is coming. You know what I mean? I got something in mind what I'm gonna do. I gotta dig in my files and see how it's looking, see how long I'm gonna make it. I don't know how it's gonna be long. But as far as the videos, because you know people been begging for the videos, man. I don't understand y'all, man. But then again, I already know who it is. The ones who was never really supporting. You know what I mean? The ones who was just I'm about to miss this light, yo. The ones who's never really supporting, man. I got a whole bunch of messages from people who ain't never shared. Can't really determine if they hit the like button or never left a donation. They're the main ones asking about the videos. They the main ones asking about the videos. At least a day, I get a bunch of messages, man. Them joints about to upgrade. So. We upgraded from the black screen. You know what I mean? They on the archives because they know the art. They know they was feeding, son. I pull that baby bottle out of their mouth, man. Pull that pacifier. You know when you pull the pacifier out of the baby mouth, man, start crying. That's what I did, man. Pull the pacifier out from them, man. They know they can't feed no more, son. You know what I mean? There ain't no more feeding, bro. But as far as them breakups, they gonna be done on an advanced level. Ain't gonna be no more black screen. Well, it might be black screens from here and there, but it ain't gonna be like how it was back in the days. I got a couple of ideas. I've just been banging with this camera so long. Testing this joint out. This camera's a beast. I know y'all ain't into stuff like that, but yo, you gotta understand the importance of imagery. You know what I mean? You gotta understand how important imagery is, man. The only way you can really understand how important imagery is for you to understand what you're actually dealing with. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, if you really know who you are, everything else falls into place. So noisy out here, man. If you really know who you are, everything else falls into place. So if you know who you are, I ain't talking about a so-called black man or so-called black woman or Christian or none of these other programs. You know what I mean? If you know who you are, man, everything else falls into place, man. It's like a domino effect, man. Instead of you like give an example. Instead of you sitting there trying to study like ancient history and things like that, or you trying to do research. For instance, people want to do research on the humans or research on planets, research on bacteria, and, you know what I'm saying? Research is like they do a whole bunch of research on everything but themselves, man. And you're not really gonna find out who you really are by doing research on this planet. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna pump fake. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna put on another title that's just basically gonna have you simulating algorithms. You know what I mean? But in order for you to really know who you really are, you got to research self. You know what I mean? And the only way you could do that is to be real. You know what I mean? It's to be real. So, all this music, man. The only way to do that is to be real. And once it clicks, there is no unclicking. Everything is like a chain. It's like a chain reaction. It's like you open up some kind of archives that just basically enlightens you. It just puts you up on game. You know what I mean? You understand what things is. Once you start thinking about, once you make the connect with who you really are, once you start thinking about certain things, it's like your thinking doesn't become a question. It becomes an answer. Because it's like when you don't know who you are, you sitting up there studying a lot of things because you don't know. And then when you gather the data from the studying, you know what I'm saying? It's like now you simulate data under the impression you know, but it's just a belief. A lot of that data is based in belief. You know what I mean? But when you really understand what's really going, like who you really are, everything else, it makes sense. You understand what the vehicle is, you understand what your organs is, blood, you understand what your veins is, your brain, you understand what this planet is, you understand what all life on this planet is, you understand what everything that's going on in all these realms, you understand all of it, son. You know what it is because you made the connection with you. You know what I mean? You connected with who you are. So when you see people talking about going to research this, research, yeah, you can do all the research all you want, son, but the reality is, man, that's like somebody running away from a problem, son. See, people always, reading thousands of books and all that stuff, and they doing all this mad research on ancient artifacts and all that stuff. Like, that's all based. That's like beliefs. It's like you dodging a problem. It's like you got a problem, and it's like you're not even dealing with it head on. The problem is not the pyramids and ancient artifacts and so-called. Yo, what's up with all this music, bro? Damn, cuz. Damn, bro. You know what I mean? The problems ain't It seemed like every block I walked down, somebody playing music. I came out here earlier today, was nobody playing music. Now I'm live everywhere I go, somebody playing music. To roll their windows up, man. Where the police at, man? Give these people a ticket for unreasonable noise. You know what I mean? Give people a ticket for unreasonable noise. But yeah. what it was, the ancient artifacts, the pyramids and all that. And these people is like they sitting there trying to figure out how the pyramids was made, these ancient artifacts, and they studying Egypt, reading all these ancient scrolls and all that, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna find out what happened because we're looking with all of this right here, not knowing that they really dealing with fragments. And somebody just dropped $1 out the car, cuz. Hell yeah, cuz. Hell yeah. Y'all caught that in real time, son. My path is money. I caught that in real time. Somebody just dropped $1 out the car, cuz. But yeah. But you people don't understand that if you was to tap into who you really are, you would know exactly what the pyramids is. You know what I'm saying? You would, you would know everything, son. You would know everything that you want to know. You would know everything that you want to know. You know what I mean? Dealing with self for real. I'm not even talking about the body. The body ain't even you. The body ain't you. The body is God's body. That's the body the soul wear. You wearing the body right now, son. The physical body is like clothes that your soul is wearing. You the soul. You know what I mean? And it's like, it ain't nothing I could tell you to make it click. You know what I mean? It's something that you have to experience for self. And once it click, there is no unclicking. There is no unclicking, son. It's not like you learn how to ride a bike and then you forget. Or you learn how to swim and you can't swim no more. You know what I mean? Once it click, there is no unclicking, son. Because now you opened up, you made the connection with who you really are. It's somewhat like you disconnect from the physical body and reconnect it with you. You know what I mean? And it's like you open up certain vectors of the brain that allow that connection to remain established of you knowing. You know what I mean? Not dealing with the belief. You will understand, it'll make sense. That's why I always say raise the vibe. Raise the vibe. You know what I mean? You got to raise the vibe. But these people will say, just go inside. They say, go in self and all that. You know what I mean? Going beyond self. When people use that term, you know what I'm saying? Go inside self, break down that term. They basically saying going inside the body. You're already inside the body, man. You gotta tap in that there is no body. It's only you. You know what I mean? It's you. There is no body. It's you. The soul. The energy. The real energy, son. Word up. And this is something that people would know once they click. Once it click, there is no unclicking. You know what I mean? So, the people who deal with belief, you would know why these people go hard to trigger their emotions. You would know why they go hard with mind control. There's so many different institutes of mind control. And know that mind control ultimately is to, because it ain't got nothing to do with the humans. Like the humans is always going to be under mind control because the mind is something that they need in order to translate and animate signals. You know what I mean? That's what they need the mind. They need the mind to translate and animate out positive and negative polarities. The mind operates off of positive and negative polarities. You know what I'm saying? When you hear people say things like the right state of mind, that's like being in a positive polarity of the mind vibration. Or when you hear somebody say things like, well, you wasn't in your right state of mind, that's basically saying that you was operating off the negative vibration of the mind. The mind operates off of positive and negative polarities. It's artificial for the God race. That's what the human sees. That's where you walking, player. You know what I mean? It's artificial for the humans. Or should I say for us? It's artificial for us, but it's something that's used for the humans. You know what I mean? We go beyond the mind. In other words, we beyond the positive and the negative polarities. Because as I stated before, positive and the negative polarity make up electricity. That's all artificial energy. That's all artificial energy. You know what I mean? All artificial. And it deals with polarity. So when you see when it click and you see people who claim that they want to raise up the guard race and they only using polarity-based tactics. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that the way how they coming at you is in some form, shape, or fashion in a positive or negative polarity. You will understand that those people are just putting you up under mind control. You know what I'm saying? You would know that that's a form of them reestablishing mind control. Anytime you see them use a positive and negative polarity in any shape, form, or fashion when they trying to raise you up, that's a form of mind control. For instance, you have certain people that have certain gatherings and they would have these lectures and they would start talking about how so-called black people getting beat by the so-called white man, beat by the police, being oppressed and all this. In other words, they would describe all these negatives. They would describe all these negatives so it could trigger the emotions. You know what I'm saying? So it could trigger the emotions. That's putting you up under mind control. They're not dealing with the reality. God up, God is up. That's it. God up and God is up. Problem solved. You know what I'm saying? You sitting up here marching, doing all this other stuff. That's just putting you up under mind control, son. See, so when it click, you understand and you would know why they do it. They do it because they clones. You know what I mean? You would know that they clones. And that's how clones breathe. It's a form of breathing. Not inhale, exhale, but like reproducing. Like giving birth. That's a form of how clones reproduce. Putting you up under mind control. So now when they have you up under that frequency, they could constantly extract energy from you by way of the polarities. In other words, they convert your soul energy into positive and negative energy, son. Same thing when I was talking about with the sun, how the sun hit this planet and the rays of the sun, the energy, it goes through all the different ozone layers, which is 0-point energy filters that alternate the sun energy and convert it into electricity, which is what this planet is using. They do that when they put you up under mind control. They extracting your soul energy and now it's being converted into a positive and negative feed that they feed up off of, son. And that's a form of them reproducing themselves because it gives them life. The more you give them attention, the more you sustain their life. It's like when a man and a woman have a baby, that baby's born, that baby is a representation of an extension of their life. The baby grow up, get a man or a woman and have another baby, it continues the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? But on a clone frequency, it doesn't always have to be with babies. It could be with putting you up under mind control and have you constantly donating energy to them. Your energy gives them life. That's another form of sex magic that they use, son. You know what I mean? So when it click, there is no unclicking. You see it. It's like when you look at people, when it clicks and you make that contact with who you really are. When you look at What they tell you is people. You won't even see people. It's like you would be looking in multi dimensions. It's like your brain is not locked in this realm no more, seeing them as a human or seeing them as a people or seeing it as an insect or seeing it as a dog or a building or whatever superficial description they gave it. You won't see it like that no more. You will see it for what it is, because it's like you're looking at all the layers. You know what I mean? You're seeing all the layers and you understand what it is. And then you would know simultaneously why they go hard to push the the superficial description as facts, because that's how they sustain the mind control. You know what I mean? The mind control. We beyond the mind. Beyond it. The mind is artificial. We beyond the mind. I was on the mind wagon. I already know. You see, like I said, I take a lot of L's in front of the people's face. Huh? You know what I mean? I take a lot of L's in front of the people's face. But even when I was on the mind, I was always saying, yo, son, there's something about that mind. But I wasn't really trying to think about it. You know, the signal was always coming through, but I didn't really want to think about it. But I was like, one day I'm going to just focus on the mind, see what the mind really is. And, it is what it is. And it makes sense. It makes sense. All of these titles, like Moors, Islam, Christian, driver, janitor, all of these titles they got out here, those are different variations of mind control. You know what I mean? Notice that every title that exists in this realm that people fully identify themselves with has a positive and negative polarity attached to it. There's no such thing as a coincidence, man. Every title have a positive and negative polarity attached to it. It's mind control, man. Mind control. I spoke about that when it had the the mind control device. When I did the video talking about the mind control device. Talking about they wasn't trying to read brain waves with the mind control device. They was figuring out how to create the mind, how to create minds. Because the first ones who created the minds were the gods, who created all this life out here. I even stated that they created an artificial mind over this planet with the satellites. If you look at the satellites, it is a bigger version of a mind control helmet. They got a mind over Earth. You know what I mean? They created a mind over Earth. Because, this planet that we're on is a moon. Minds only exist in moons. You can only have a mind if you're on a moon. You know what I'm saying? It go hand in hand. The planets that they trying to tell you is just planets speaking this general term. A majority of the planets in this universe is moons. The only suns that you see are portals that lead to the etheric realms. You know what I mean? But for the inhabitants of a moon, a mind is necessary, because the planet even communicates with life forces on this planet. For instance, when you look and you see like animals move in herds to different parts of the planet, they getting that from the planet. The planet is telling them, go over here. You see hundreds of animals migrating to a different location in the wild. They getting those instructions from the planet. And the only reason why those animals is able to get that, because they all have a mind. You know what I mean? All those animals got a mind. So the mind is necessary for the planet to be able to communicate with them. Positive and negative polarity, the same frequency this planet vibrates off of. You know what I mean? But we, the souls, beyond the mind. We beyond the positive and the negative. We got caught up in the positive and the negative. The Ouroboros are bouncing back and forth. One day you happy, next day you mad. You know what I'm saying? You got caught up in those polarities, man. All of the God that they gave you is polarity based. Mind control. You know what I mean? Mind control. It's all about raising the vibe. That's it. Raise the vibe beyond the polarity, man. But yo, man, I'm about to go over here and mess with this camera, man. It's supposed to be a quick little live. Ain't even trying to be doing this live like that. You already know what it is, man. It's all about raising the vibe, raising the vibe. This camera's a beast. Hey, yo, Cola Culture, man, you gotta get up on that camera, player. I mean, bruh. Gotta get up on that camera, bruh. What's going on in the chat?
I gotta say, I see too many accidents in the corner over there.
Yeah, man, I'm just experimenting with these footage. I'm just experimenting, man, getting warmed up. Yeah, I'm still mixing them herbs. I got some more herbs coming through. Supposed to come last night, but you know how Amazon do. I got some more herbs coming through, man. Hurry it up. Do I have any insight as far as you being white and the solar flares coming is progressing the soul or spirit worth it? Why would you receive my teachings? Because you're feeding. It's just a feed. It's a feed for the spirits. It's something that they would never be able to tap into because they could only tap into realms that's based in positive and negative polarity. When you go outside, this is something I was telling my dude the other day, so we was having a conversation. I was like, the reason why the so-called black race started everything on this planet, as far as everything literally, is because we were able to tap into other realms that's beyond positive and negative polarity. You know what I'm saying? So when, you know, other people used to see it, the humans used to see what we used to do, it used to blow their mind. Because their minds is based in an artificial realm. So we was pulling things from a realm that's way beyond their mental capabilities. You know what I'm saying? And it feed them. You know, it's a feed. So, you know, the reason why, you know, you're on the channel, if you're a spirit, is because what I'm saying is giving you a charge. It's feeding you. That's ways how spirits feed. They feed off of the energy. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's just a feed. Ain't nothing great gonna come out of it. You know, just a feed. That's why I pulled the plug. Because spirits was coming to the channel just always feeding. You know what I mean? Always want to feed. You know what I mean? So I pull the rip cord. 2,000 plus videos, man. Pull the rip cord. No more feed. But you know they always gonna be peeking through the cracks in the curtains. Every now and then they gonna drive by the house, see if cell fluid is live. You know what I mean? Or come into the channel every now and then and see if I drop another vid. Every now and then they gonna do that because it's like, you know, they know what the channel was capable of, man. You know, they've been introducing things on the channel that's like, yo. So every now and then they gonna swing back around. You know what I mean? They're gonna swing back around every now and then, son. But yo, man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. About to start messing with my cam, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Yo, man, we got them videos coming, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting, sharing, liking, and, you know, dropping them donations. It is what it is, man. It's all about raising the vibe, raising the vibe, raising the vibe, raising
No, no, I
the
don't,
vibe.
I don't think they would be out while I was there.
I'm up out of here.